My dad tried to embarrass me in front of everyone, and it backfired in a way he didn't expect. It was one of those family gatherings where people drink just enough to get bold, but not enough to forget later. Backyard, folding chairs, everyone talking over each other. I thought I was safe, blending into the background. Then my dad clinked his glass. He smiled that smile he uses when he thinks he's being funny. He started telling a story about me from a few years ago, something I'd assumed was dead and buried. He exaggerated it, punched up the awkward parts, waited for laughs before continuing. People laughed. Not cruelly, politely. The kind of laughter that keeps things moving. He said it showed my personality. He said I'd always been a little intense, a little serious. He looked at me and asked if I remembered it, like inviting me to play along. I felt my face get hot. I could have laughed it off. That's usually what I do. But something about the way he said it, like he was reminding everyone where I stood, made me tired instead of embarrassed. So I answered him honestly. I said, yeah, I remembered it. I said I'd been going through a rough time back then and hadn't really felt supported. I said it hadn't been funny for me. The yard went quiet in that specific way where no one knows whose side they're on. My dad chuckled and said I was being sensitive. He said he was just joking. He told everyone not to take me too seriously. That's when my aunt spoke up. She said she remembered that time differently. She said she'd thought I handled it well, considering. Someone else nodded. Another relative added that they'd always assumed I had more pressure on me than people realized. My dad stopped smiling. He tried to regain control, said people were reading too much into it. But the moment had shifted. The story wasn't his anymore. Later, he pulled me aside and told me I'd made things awkward. He said I didn't have to turn everything into a thing. He asked why I couldn't just take a joke. I asked why the joke only worked if I stayed quiet. He didn't answer that. He just said he'd been trying to connect. The rest of the night, people checked in on me in small ways. Nothing dramatic, just enough to notice. My dad hasn't told that story again. We never talked about it afterward, not really. But now when he starts one of those jokes, he looks at me first, like he's gauging the risk. I don't know if that means he learned something or just lost confidence. Either way, the laughter doesn't come as easily anymore.